Moving now forward, we have Mr. Matthew Chaco, who is the founder, director, and CEO of Precision Group, here for the technology presentation over reliable identification and authentication in digital everything times. So, can I request Mr. Matthew Chaco to please come on the screen?
Yes, please. I am there, and thank you very much. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
You are, and welcome, Matthew, and thanks for joining in, and over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So before I start, I just wanted to sort of talk about the changes that we have done. But for people who have had a look at the agenda that was shared, you would have seen a different name, and sort of an upward delegation happened this morning, and that's why I'm here addressing this session. I'm obviously very happy to do that. So I would sort of take you through a specific technology that we have developed that we believe would address identity and access management concerns. So I would be sharing a small presentation, and that would sort of set the context about what we want to share. I hope this screen is visible.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, thank you. So here, this is the sort of an agenda that we set for ourselves. Basically, I think what we have seen today is the screen is not moving. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is what we thought. We'll just cover two specific topics. One specific to what has happened over the last 10 months thanks to COVID. What has been a concern for all of us over several years. Specifically with the current context, with where we are headed to, with a lot of digitization efforts that are being put in by organization, government supporting a lot of things. I think this calls for a serious look at how we look at identity and authentication. And that is one of the points that we would cover, and how we as a company have developed a product which sort of includes two latest developments that have happened. Of course, one is the biometrics is not new, but then there has been a recent development in certain sensors where the biometric authentications happens on the sensor, so that eliminates the need for managing biometric sensitive information. And along with this, coupled with the security controller, that has again gone through a lot of improvements. So these two combined, in our opinion, offers a very lethal combination to provide identity, a secure identity for various use cases, right? So just to set the context, what we are seeing is what we did in 2020, or rather what 2020 did to us. I think these are things that, all of these are not new to most of you would have seen this, but just to reinforce, just to set the context, I'm just bringing it up. We have seen work from home happening. We have seen study from home happening. Online shopping, of course, was happening earlier also, but then it has assumed a lot more importance now. Online banking has seen a lot of increase in transactions. Medical consultations have happened online. This is again a very interesting experience. I think most of you would have had that, and me personally too. And this was very interesting, and we really sort of didn't notice much of a difference in having such online consultation as well. And of course, online events has been, and I think ELEX has been doing a great job in putting all these things together. So online events have become a sort of a norm today. Online entertainment as well, with all the Netflix and various organizations have latched onto this opportunity as well. So this is something that most of it is going to stay. I think this is something that all of us recognize. And we have also seen that the tele density, which was, of course, it was always high, but then these data have come in the TRAI report in September 2020. And we see a lot of utilization of telecom services, lot more internet subscribers, people who are using internet for various activities. And Gartner's forecast is very clear. There is going to be a projected spend of $88.8 billion in 2021. While there has been a a decline of 2.7% in mission critical textiles. But of course, it is quite understandable because in the COVID scenario, customers put their money in improving customer engagement and ensured that that business is supported properly and looked at critical areas as an area of investment, and that included cloud, their core business application that had to be modified to adapt to these changing times, security, and I think that's where we would be talking about. And of course, the most important aspect, as was mentioned in the earlier point, is the how can the customer engagement or the customer experience improve. So these were the points that we have witnessed. And to look at some of the news, we have seen UPI transactions hitting a high in December. We have seen innovation, a lot of innovations happening right at the streets. We are seeing various Jan Dhan accounts and other digital options coming forth for use for all the common people, and RBI even talking of a possibility of a digital rupee. Of course, this is something that needs proper introspection before implemented, but I'm sure these are things that are likely to come sooner than later. So these are some of the things that we have seen, and unfortunately, so are the breaches. So we have seen these type published by CERT India has published that close to 4 lakh incidents have happened in 2019, and a lot of phishing attacks, malicious code being circulated, malware propagation, all that has happened over the last year. And a study by IBM security team has seen that these are some of the data that we could call out. And remote working model, while it has its own benefits, there is a lot of data breaches that have happened. India, I think, has witnessed some a decent amount of security breaches as well. So these are some of the data that has been published by IBM security team. And some of the other aspects that we are seeing here is that India has seen a 37% increase in cyber attacks in the first quarter of 2020 compared to the previous year. Now, these are all concerns that have to be addressed properly. I mean, more and more people coming into the public domain would mean that many more credentials being made available, and for hackers, it's something that needs to be looked into sooner the better. That's essentially, these are the pointers that we have seen. And some of the, again, news is, these are things I'm sure most of you would have seen Indian internet companies under cyber attack. People's personal reputation getting maligned, and those are this is I think Nidhi Razdan's thing was in the news recently. And for people familiar or part of South India would have heard about the Jallikattu activity that happens, and there was impersonation done. However, it was found out the person on the left was impersonated by the person on the right. So this happened, and so how do we solve it? So I think it is very important that we adopt a defense in depth approach. Look at all the layers that are to be looked at, and how you have to ensure security at all these things. Of course, it starts with the policy, procedures, and awareness. I think is very important. I think that's a key activity all organizations, government should attempt, and I'm sure RBI has done a lot in terms of bringing this awareness to the public. Having said that, it is important that all organizations look at how they control their physical security, the perimeter security, and right up to the data. So these, in each layer, you can see that there are various players at each layer, and it is important that security team addresses each of these vulnerabilities. And in fact, security is such a huge subject, and the CISOs of various organizations would be really hard-pressed to see how they can bring in a solution of this nature. And our humble opinion is that one of the key vulnerabilities is in the identity space. The identity management and authentication is the most vulnerable in our opinion, and that's where we believe if we have a proper solution which is efficient, which is user-friendly, at the same time does not compromise on security, is something that would be very useful in today's context. So that is essentially what we would be talking about. And moving forward, I think here, as I said, the Reserve Bank of India is really bringing in prominent people to educate the public in general about the safety that is required in terms of not sharing sensitive information. Right. So just to give you an idea of what type of data specific to how credentials are being used. Typically, an average internet user has about 25 online accounts, and they have only 6.5 passwords. I mean, which means that reusability of passwords is there. I mean, almost every 4 account has the same password, and it is once in 3.1 months is the time that people generally use to change. And very important is the fact that frequent changes produces password fatigue, and people end up using the same passwords or make some minor modifications and use that. So this is again a cause of concern, a vulnerability that needs to be looked at. 81% of hacking related breaches is because of stolen or weak passwords. So this is, I think it is a no-brainer at that, but essentially something that needs to be brought up to convey the importance of this critical element in providing security to all the digital initiatives that we are taking. So rest of it are all pretty much clear. And one point is that the high-end computer can typically crack 8-character password in about 5.5 hours. So today we are talking of quantum computing coming our way. So here is a situation where guessing a password would be a lot more easier than it was earlier. So this calls for a very, very clear approach to how do we protect identity, and what we have to sort of propose is something dramatic. We propose to sort of eliminate the need for username password itself. I will come to that, but before that, it is equally important to also look at the culture that we are all in, where we typically tend to share password. Also has to change. A lot of education has to happen there as well. Yeah. So why would biometrics be a good proposition? I think Aadhaar has enabled the knowledge of how biometric can be leveraged in our day-to-day usage of digital assets. So biometric obviously has to ensure that it provides dependable identification. It has to ensure that impersonation is avoided at any cost, prevented at any cost. Obviously, it provides enhanced security. And very important is the need for traceability and accountability. So non-repudiation is something that is very critical. And at the same time, while we establish the security, it is equally important to ensure that convenience and efficiency is also kept in mind. So a solution with leveraging biometrics should ensure that while it is easy to use and make the customer experience good, it should provide for a very, very strong security. And that's where biometrics can play a very, very important role. Yeah, just to give for people, this might be of a small one-pager about what biometric technologies are available, what type of physiological parameters are in use. So you have fingerprint, iris, these two are used by Aadhaar. Face recognition, while we have taken a photograph in the Aadhaar ecosystem, the face recognition is another developing biometric feature that is being used in several places, more so in analytics, where video analytics incorporates these things quite extensively, and there are certain very strong use cases for this. And rest of it are rarely used. The palm vein or hand geometry are all something that are used for very, very specific use cases. This is what we are. I mean, these are the physiological parameters. The behavior biometrics is also seeing a lot of movement. So this is what we do. So basically how we walk, what type of gestures we use, how we use our keyboards, how we use our mouse, about our signature analysis, etc., etc. So these are the various biometrics that are being explored, and some of the fingerprint is particularly being exploited quite well. So I think that's an area that we have, as an organization, worked since 2010. And we were again fortunate to be able to work with the State Bank of India team when they initiated the financial inclusion drive way back in 2003. This was actually much before Aadhaar came into existence. And we were again fortunate to travel length and breadth of the country with the State Bank of India officials and understood the domain or terrain that India is. I mean, we were able to come across old people with worn out skin, farm laborers with very thick skin. And under these conditions, imaging was very critical. And we actually explored a whole lot of fingerprint sensors, and we are able to shortlist a few that really worked in these type of environment and conditions. And on the choice of modality, I think these parameters of universality, is it available with every individual? Is it unique? Is it permanent? I mean, doesn't change over age. I mean, right from birth to death. I mean, the biometric should be permanent. It should be easy to collect. The performance should be good. And it should have an acceptance. And most importantly, the circumvention that it should not be spoofable. So these are the consideration that we have to keep in mind when choosing the right technology, the right biometric for various applications that we have in mind. Yeah, so as I said, we have been working with biometrics since 2010 or even slightly earlier. And when Aadhaar came in, obviously we plunged into that because there was biometric in it, and that's something that we understand quite well. And we are still a very active player in the Aadhaar ecosystem. We have done quite well in the enrollment exercise and now in the authentication activities. We are one of the key players. And to contribute to this, we are aligned with the UDAI STQC norms. We have those certified devices. But over and above this, we felt that there is a lot more use case, and that's where the innate key and the innate framework, what we have developed, comes into play. Both are patent pending products. And one of the use cases that I would be touching upon is the innate key for banking. So that's something that I hope would resonate with all of you. Just to give you a small this same key can potentially be used across multiple use cases. So it can be used for banks and financial services for their customers. It can be used within the enterprise. It can be used for automobile related access, and of course for locks and safes as well. So our design actually does all these things quite well. So just to give you a quick intro on one particular use case. So this is a problem statement that we propose to solve. The first problem that I'm sure all of you would agree is the fact that bank is unable to identify its customers with absolute certainty. This is because they rely on the username password, and we all know those credentials are compromised, and this requires a serious attention. So this is one problem that we propose to solve. And as I said earlier, the way we propose to solve, it need not be implemented this way, but it is something that is possible, is to eliminate the need for username password itself. So that is one problem that we propose to solve. The second problem is a problem that all customers face. Here is where RBI is educating all the consumers about not sharing critical information. So our solution enables a way by which the customer would only connect to an authentic site. A spurious site or the site would not be authenticated, and the customer is safe in that sense that they would not be able to connect to an authentic, not authentic site. So this is a second problem that we propose to solve. The third problem that we propose to solve is the man in the middle, because encryption happens end to end. But however, we are also aware that banks have implemented solutions that provides for a secure connectivity from the endpoint through the browser that they connect to. So this is again from our perspective, we also have, in addition to protecting this, we are also able to provide a secure out-of-band channel which can be used to validate transactions that happen in band. I mean, this is a concept that I may not be able to explain right away, but whoever is interested, we would be happy to connect with them offline and explain how this can be used for ensuring that the data actually entered is actually the data that is getting received at the server side. So this can be validated additionally through this out-of-band channel that we provide, a secure out-of-band channel. Sorry. So the fourth problem that we propose to solve, while OTP is definitely a better it's an added advantage to have one more layer of authentication. We know that it is not secure. So this is the fourth problem that we propose to solve. We can actually eliminate the need for OTP also by way of implementing this properly. So that's the fourth problem that we propose to solve. The fifth problem which is I think of a very important problem that all of us have, is the fact that we use multiple devices. In fact, we just witnessed Mr. Shankar mentioning that people would like to go to the office and work on the computer at office because they believe that laptop is secure within the enterprise network. So our solution actually eliminates the need for the customers to be worried about the fact that, in fact, they can use any device to connect with, because the device provides for that level of security. And the final problem, which I think the banks will be very happy to have this, is that every transactions can be uniquely signed by the customer. So the solution is implemented in a manner that is this. So you can see that there is a small piece of hardware. In fact, the device that you see on the left is almost the actual size of the product. It is as small as that. It can be connected to a mobile phone. It can be connected to a laptop, desktop, and this ensures identification of the individual, and the biometric sensor that you see in the center is used to validate the person and before transactions are initiated. So I can actually do a demo of this, but however, we can for all people who are interested, we'll be happy to demonstrate this offline, right? So these are some of the components that goes into this. There is a matching sensor, which is anti-spoof. I mean, there are 24 different type of spoofs that has been tested, and it is securing spoofs quite well. It has in it non-mutable serial number that is put at the time of manufacture. That is basically the security controller that is used. The serial number is into the security controller, and the biggest advantage of having such a security controller is the fact that the private key never leaves the device. Unlike typical software implementation where a keypad has to be generated and then put in a secure space in the device, maybe in a trusted platform module, etc. But the fact remains that a private key is still accessible outside. In our solution, through the innate key, the private key never leaves the device, and that makes it an extremely secure implementation. And the host is, as I said, the various machines that are used to connect. And the server is where all these key informations are securely stored. And what is important to mention is that all data is encrypted at rest and encrypted in transit. So in motion, all these things, the information, no clear text is passed. And that's one of the unique ways we have gone about implementing this. Yeah, so how this works. So I'll just sort of give you an overview when people can go through this. Basically, we have, as I said, a security controller, a secure controller, and anti-spoof strong biometric authentication system. So with this, there is a PKI-based asymmetric cryptography that happens, where a public key, private key exchange of information, both sides. So that's a uniqueness here. So every bank, or even here, again, I remember there is a need for a single device that can work across multiple banks. I mean, here is a solution that can be implemented with the support of the regulators. We can provide a way by which each individual has a unique certificate that where the private key is inside the device, and he uses his biometric only to establish connectivity to the authentic side. And the bank is also certain that only with their data that is also embedded into the key. So that is a bidirectional trust that gets established, and this is the way the security is being able to do. I mean, we can use, when we have mentioned about RSA 2048, of course, the elliptical curve cryptography is also something that is used and that is more recommended these days. And subsequently, an AES 256 symmetric encryption happens so that man in the middle can be eliminated. And the same thing applies for the rest of the things. And since it is a bidirectional implementation. Using the every transaction can be signed, as you can see in the last point, that every transaction can be uniquely signed by using the private key of the customer, and this calls for a clear. This actually renders the access to transaction, it is non-reputable. So the customers obviously cannot say that they have not used done the transaction. And there is a concern that what happens if I lose the device? It doesn't matter, because the biometric only can enable any transaction, so that way it is secure. Of course, there is a process that needs to be implemented to ensure that a replacement is sent across and so on and so forth. So that's a logistics element. But it is our humble opinion that this is a very, very strong implementation if we are able to overcome the initial operational aspects that have to be properly done. The benefits are very many, and we believe that if we have anybody who's showing interest, we'll be able to meet across and explain the benefits of this. And equally important, of course, is the ease of implementation, and we have a solution that we could suggest, and sitting together with the organizations, we can work out the best approach to do that. Right? So I don't know do I have time? Hello?
Am I audible?
Am I okay to continue?
So you can continue for 5 more minutes. No problem.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so this is what we wanted to share about the Innate Key solution, specifically with the use case of the online banking transactions in mind. These are some of the designs that are possible. So each customer can have various designs, and so they can actually personalize it for various use cases. So one can be for their customers, other one can be for their employees. So these are some of the additional benefits that can come, and the benefits to the organization, the benefits to the users, the benefits to the security team are many. I mean, I think that's something that makes this implementation worthwhile for organizations. So this is our humble input, and we also have a solution that provides for all these things. So we have a biometric-based implementation. So here there are 2 scenarios that are possible. The innate key is personal, so that each individual should carry a device, whereas a match on host solutions, where you connect a biometric device to a host and people can operate with that device. So that's also possible. So that has been the traditional implementation that have happened. And in that, you can have all these. So we have this innate framework, which can provide you with all these facilities. So you have the operating system login, you have the application login, you have privileged users can be logging in through this, so that their transactions are recorded as well. You can protect files. We have a innate vault that can be used for that. Of course, the time and tested attendance, but the difference here is that anybody from anywhere in the country, or for that matter the world, can mark their attendance through the system. So that's another advantage that is available. So there are big organizations who are using the solutions of us. And very interestingly, the recruitment, and where impersonations are happening, and there have been multiple evidences of recruitment. I mean, various people participating in the entire recruitment cycle, and eventually the person who's recruited is not the person who had actually attended the interview. So those are things that are also can be handled with the solution that we have in mind. In fact, the solution is also used for online examinations that have been conducted across the country. Various government exams are also using this to authenticate the students, either through Aadhaar or otherwise. So these are some of the solutions that we have, all packaged into a single. So this sort of depicts the various layers, various modules within the same framework. And so essentially the user lifecycle management talks of right from the recruitment to his retirement or exit. This can enable all the transactions of the particular user is through this. So this sort of, actually provides an identity provider solution. So where this can potentially be a landing page for employees who logs into this framework, and from there they have secure access to various applications. So that's something that is possible through this. And I'll skip this slide. So coming back to the defense in depth, this is how it looks like. So each layer is handled by a set of modules, and you have a sort of a peace of mind that from an identity perspective, these solutions help organizations to ensure a strong level of protection. Right, and some of the benefits are that it gives you audit trails, it is database agnostic, it is algorithm is built in, it's platform agnostic and all that. So these are these benefits that are available as part of the solution. And as I said earlier, you have a client-facing solutions that are possible, and within the enterprise solutions that are possible as well. Okay, so just one slide on Precision. So we are a more than 2-decade-old organization. We have 2,400 plus employees spread across the country. So we have a strong focus on R&D, and over the last, we are in our business version 4. So particularly 3 and 4 have actually worked. We have worked on creating a strong IP where investments on R&D has been very heavy. And that has enabled us to produce very, very interesting solutions. I have spoken about biometric and identity. We have something quite exciting in IoT as well. And of course, the foundational services of system integration and managed services is where the whole, this sort of supports the whole organization as we move forward. So we are very excited about the possibilities. And with this, I thank Elets for providing us with this opportunity. And that's it from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Are you able to identify your customers with absolute certainty when they access your transaction systems? Are your customers sure that they are connected to an authentic institution and not a malicious phishing site? Is bidirectional trust established between your servers and the device your customer is logging in from? Multiple devices used to carry out transactions, frequent switching of devices, and lack of unique transaction signature can cause trouble in authenticating your customer and their transactions. To make matters worse, even your OTP system has its limitations. It causes administrative overhead, lowers security, and increases recurring costs. These issues are serious and compromise security and user convenience. And with ever-increasing digital transactions in play, they heighten the possibilities of user impersonation, phishing, man-in-the-middle, replay attacks, and other such threats. How can these problems be addressed? Don't worry, Precision Biometric is here to help. Introducing Precision's Innate Key, a secure biometric device that incorporates best-in-class anti-spoofing fingerprint, match and sensor, and high-end security controller that provides advanced asymmetric cryptography. Together with the server stack and SDKs, it eliminates the problems of credential compromise and enables multi-device use and implements end-to-end encryption. The communication between the Innate Key device and the institution servers is encrypted at each end with a designated public and private key, along with a timestamp of the authentication event and the unique customer signature. These unique features make Innate Key the most secure, reliable, and cost-effective solution that can help replace OTP authentication and provide a convenient and robust biometric security. We at Precision Biometric are forerunners in designing and developing unique biometric technology-based products and solutions. And with a strong R&D practice and IP creation focus, we have developed numerous patent-pending innovative solutions. Backed by our pan-India presence, a large team of skilled and certified professionals, and a comprehensive bouquet of offerings across biometric solutions, IoT, managed services, cloud, and systems integration, we can add value to your innovation and digital transformation journey. Contact us today for more information.
Thank you, Mr. Chacko, for presenting about Precision Biometric. With this, I would now request our audience to please visit the Expo booth for any queries, for any questions rising up for Precision, or you wish to explore their products. You can simply go to the booth. We have the team from Biometric who will answer your queries. So we'll take 10-minute short break and we'll be back with another session quickly. Thank you.